Alright, skill 7. So here are my 4 angles. I drew out triangles here. Here's 45, here's 135. I drew out their sides and I saw that the cosine of both of them is root 2 over 2, and which I know the reciprocal of cosine is secant, so their secants are going to be equal to each other, which is going to be root 2. Right here for 150 and 210, I looked at their legs and I saw that the sine of both these angles are equal to negative root 3 over 2, which is what I wrote right here. So I basically wrote secant of x is equal to square root of 2 because the only solutions is that 45-degree angle and that 135. And then I wrote sine of x is equal to negative root 3 over 2 because their only solutions is 150 and 210. So then I did what we would do for a quadratic, and I set both of these things equal to 0, and I would multiply them together. And so what I did next was I multiplied them out to get this equation right here. And this is where I used my first trig identity of that secant of x is equal to 1 over cosine. They're reciprocals of each other. And then so I multiply that 1 over cosine times sine, which is equal to sine of x over cosine of x, which is where my second trig identity comes in, because this is also equal to the tangent of x. So I plug that in right here. And then I took this chance to use my Pythag trig identity that I had to use, because I know that 1 plus tangent squared of x is equal to secant squared of x. So I set this equation equal to tan of x, which is this right here. So I plug that in, and I have this equation so far. And I took this equation, I subtracted sine of x root 2 minus root 6 over 2, and put it on the other side. I squared both sides. I ended up getting this right here, and I turned this secant squared x minus 1 back into the tangent squared of x, and yeah, and then I made my tangent squared, and that's sine and cosine, and I just put 4 in the numerator and denominator so I could add these two together, because I replaced secant right here, secant squared, with 1 over cosine squared. Added them together, ended up getting this. I multiplied each side by 4 cosine squared of x, and then I subtracted this and put it on this side, and I ended up getting this big solution right here.